welcome to the September 25th, 2013 edition of Charlie McGrath's Wide Awake News. It is Wednesday and time for Karen's Corner. So is this the best time to be alive? Well, let's find out today with my guest, Pamela Oslie, who is a psychic. She is capable of visiting alternate universes. She is into higher consciousness. And I have really been looking forward to this conversation. She and I spoke very briefly earlier this morning in order to make sure that the connection was going to be there. And without further ado, Pam Oslie, welcome to Karen's Corner and Wide Awake News.
Hi, Karen. I'm so glad to hear you're wide awake. That's awesome.
Well, I'm working on being wide awake, and I'm really so looking forward to really getting into this, Pam. Would you please give us a brief synopsis of who you are and how you got started in this business?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, all right. So basically, my background is in helping people. I worked with disabled kids before, learning disabled kids, autistic kids. I have a background in kind of helping people. Then I ended up switching over into the rock and roll business and the theater business for a while. Got to know a lot of amazing people. And then one night I went to hear a shaman speak, a psychic, and I walked into the room and he pulled me up in front of the group that night and said, "You have these abilities too. I want you to get up here and start telling people what you see about them." I was, "Excuse me?" I was choking, going, "What are you talking about? I came here to watch you." And I didn't even really know what that ability was about. So I was surprised to find out that night that I was indeed picking up very detailed information about strangers in the room, people I'd never met before, and kind of went from there. I started doing, I don't know what word to use anymore, Karen, intuitive work, sensitive work, psychic work, oracle work. I don't know what the PC word is anymore. And then about a year after being able to tune into people and see what was going on with them, I met a woman who could see auras. She saw energy fields. And I brought her up to Santa Barbara, which is where I live, to do workshops here with my clients. And I discovered that what she was seeing around people, the different colors in the aura, matched with what I had been picking up intuitively or psychically about people, the different personality types and the common threads that seem to go through people. And so I went, "Oh, that's a yellow. Oh, that's a blue. Okay, I get it." And then within about a year of meeting her and working with her, I also developed the ability to, first of all, sense these energy fields or auras, and then eventually to be able to see them. So now I use that as a tool to be able to help people because each of the different aura colors has a personality type to it. And then, of course, from there I started checking into using energy to create and parallel universes, like you mentioned, and talking to people on the other side and tuning into people's other lives. I call them other as opposed to past lives. And according to quantum physics, everything's happening at once and simultaneously. There's really no such thing as time. So anyway, that's a brief synopsis of how I got into this and who I am and what I do.
Well, now, I am fascinated by some of the things that you are able to do, some of your abilities, and I heard you speaking at a TEDx conference about whether or not we are actually evolving. And from when I look around the world, Pam, unfortunately, I see us becoming more and more aware of what's going on around us, but I'm not so sure I see us evolving as I see us devolving with the wars, with the corruption, with the follow the leader and obedient mentality that we have, as opposed to really reclaiming our morality and declaring war and murder, whether it's government sanctioned or not, to be totally out of alignment with any type of higher consciousness whatsoever.
Right. Well, I can see how that perception would come across. First of all, I think we're going through the new baby being born. Boy, those birth contractions can feel really bad. And I remember watching a show once where they interviewed a lot of people that were in their 80s and 90s and some of them even over 100. And they asked these people if they missed the good old days or if they felt like life was getting worse. And you know what, Karen, it was so fascinating to me. Every single one of these people said, the good old days, are you kidding me? They see a lot more compassion, a lot more evolution, a lot more connection going on. They said, when they were younger, we had way more wars. There was rioting. They were killing our own people, Kent State and the Vietnam War protests and segregation. And I remember when I was younger, it was actually illegal to date out, interracially. It was illegal to date and to marry interracially. So to me, I realize there's a lot of birth pangs going on. There's, as things change, there's a lot of people that are going to resist change and fight it, but at the same time, there are a lot more people being connected. Look at how much more we're connected with people around the world now through social media, internet and Twitter and Facebook. It's like we are instantly aware of what's going on in other countries now. When I was little, we didn't have a clue what was going on around the world. So I'm seeing a lot more connection, but that's just my perspective. And I know there's a lot of fear out there, but for me, I'm seeing a lot more compassion and consciousness and people being aware that they don't want to do wars anymore. They're more aware that there's genocide out there. And even if we haven't jumped in and fully done more about it, there's more and more people that are compassionate about it. So eventually I see more and more action is going to be taken on it. That's my perception anyway.
Well, being a psychic, I think that, and being able to go into different realities, that's great, because I would like to, I've always held the vision that we can change and that we can change very quickly and we don't need to be changing through violence. And I did like the quote that you gave that we cannot make these changes with the same type of mentality that brought us here. So in your experience, what are human beings really capable of?
Oh, I love that, Crazy. You know what, Karen? I'm in the midst of writing my 4th book all about that. And the fact that I and so many others are able to see past, present, and future means that something else is going on about time. The fact that we can see energy fields, people that are doing energy healing, discovering the power of thought and how our consciousness matters. The fact that one of my favorite things is quantum physics, coming up with parallel universes. We're capable, we do it all the time. We go in and out of parallel universes all the time. We're just not aware of it because we haven't been taught they're real. The fact that so many people are stepping forward now with the ability to be able to talk to people who have crossed over proves that we are infinite beings. We don't really die. We just look like we do by changing bodies. And the fact that I can, and a lot of other people can tap into other lives or past lives. If we can do this, then I believe the entire human species has the ability to do it. We've just been taught that that's not possible. It's the old classical physics that goes, no, this isn't real. It's all mechanistic. The universe is just a giant machine, and we're destined to just be born, then we, decay, then we die, and that's just the way life is. And I'm looking at quantum physics, Karen, and I'm going, oh my gosh, the things that they're saying are so radically different. Even
Agreed.
Stanford Encyclopedia even said quantum physics has radically changed our perception and our view and our understanding of the physical universe. And so it's like I get really excited about what I see going on. And if we start utilizing parallel universes and are conscious with it, then basically what quantum physics is saying, one of the versions of parallel universes, is that there's an infinite number of yous walking around, Karen, okay? So for every choice that you make...
Sheesh.
I know. It's like, for every choice that you make, so let's say there's a you walking around that married somebody that you met in high school, and that person still exists. For every choice that you make, so let's say you're walking down your main street in your town, and you look at a store and go, oh, I'd really love to go in there and buy a new top. It's like, I don't have time for that. I got to get to a meeting. Well, one you went on to that meeting, and another you, an actual you, split off, went into that store, bought a top, and is having a completely different experience now living that life. Now, I know this sounds like science fiction, but you know how many things used to be science fiction that are now science fact? And this is quantum physics. And so when you talk about the world and how, you're afraid it's actually not evolving, there's still murders out there, there are infinite number of worlds, of Earths side by side in the same breathing space that we are. And in some of them, Germany won the war, and in some of them, England won the war, and the American Revolution never really happened. So there's infinite numbers of versions, and I know this sounds so radical, but again, this is quantum physics. This is physics. This isn't like some new age wacko woo-woo. I mean, I'm really grounded in the practicality of this. So, and what that means, Karen, is that you can align yourself with any planet, any universe that's in peace, that's in harmony, and you can actually have that experience. You will split off and have a whole life with that particular world. Now, that's radical, isn't it?
It is, and that means that in one of those alternate realities, I'm actually having lots of fun and working with a very good band of musicians and making some music, and because that definitely would be one of the alternate realities that I would go for.
Oh, you and I have so much in common. That's what I always wanted to do, too. So now I just have a lot of famous rock and roll friends, okay, because I ran a facility that, and got to promote rock and roll bands. So, I mean, the big guys, the famous ones, not garage bands or clubs or anything. And so you and I have a lot in common. We both wanted to do that. But we're doing this instead.
Well, I made my living singing for quite a few years. I never hit the big time or anything, but I had some of that while I was here. But when you talk about this now, I'm seeing some things in the chat room that are saying, here's a quote I'm just passing on. If a person turns to mediums and necromancers whoring after them, I will set my face against that person and will cut him off from among his people. What do you say to people whose belief systems are so entrenched within their within what we've been taught, the dogma that we've been taught, to where they're really vested in the black and white judgment?
Well, you know what, Karen? I believe that we all came here for different experiences. We're running different movies. We all have a different relationship with God or all that is or higher power, whatever you want to call it. And so I totally allow everybody. I was raised Christian. I graduated from a Christian college, so I know the Bible backwards and forwards, and this was the gift that I was given. It also says in the Old Testament that God said, okay, you know what? I'm going to send you to another place. There's a lot of prophets in this place that are false prophets. I'm going to send you someplace else, and I will send you my prophets, and you'll know. You don't have to be afraid of the ones, that are doing prophecy. There's no reason to be afraid. You'll know if they come from me if what they tell you comes true. But you don't have to be afraid of the ones that are mistaken, that are, not doing it right. So, I see people quoting the Old Testament, the New Testament. My gosh, there's things in the New Testament like it says that, without getting into a religious discussion, but I honor people's beliefs. Everybody's here with a different understanding, and however they're reaching their goals or their connection is great. But, it actually says in the book of John 10:34, Christ said, ye are gods. I mean, that to me is profound, and I'm seeing some of the experiences. And Christ was walking on water. He was healing the sick and the lame. He was raising people from the dead. He was turning water to wine. And he said, the things that you see me doing, you will do also, and even greater. So when people say they follow Christ, they go, well, are you doing those things? Are you doing the things that he said he could do? Because that's my goal. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to do those same things. And he said we're able to do that. So, but you understand, I still honor people's beliefs, wherever they come from. Some people come from a lot of fear, and I understand they're so afraid that people will go to hell if they don't follow the rules. And I go, I get it. But then there's others, like Christ, that broke the rules. They didn't follow the religious teachings. They went outside the religious teachings. And, of course, then the Jewish leaders at the time were very upset at Christ, but he was a rebel. And so I see the same thing happening today where people are starting to listen to what was being taught. Christ didn't say, worship me. He said, follow me. So.
Well, I was raised Catholic, but I believe that we are spirit having a human experience, although right. I can't really prove that. But when you talk about being able to prove it, is there, how would we know that we were stepping into an alternate universe? Because while it's very, very intriguing to think about doing that, and I have an imagination, how do we do that? How do we test ourselves? How can we actually...
That's a great question. That's a great question. So let me just explain to people, kind of use an analogy of how this works. you know there are radio waves going on around you all the time. There are like at least 20 different radio stations broadcasting in your area right now. And all those radio waves are in the air all around you, but you're not aware of them because you're not tuned into the frequency they're broadcasting, right? But if you go to your radio and you turn into, so let's say 91.1, right? You turn that on, you're going to align with the frequency that that station is broadcasting at, and you're going to be able to hear the programming that's coming out of that frequency, right? Now, if you go change it to 101.7, you're going to have a completely different experience. You're going to have a different reality. You're going to hear the music or the talk that's going on that station. Now, the radio station, the airwaves that are still broadcasting the 91.1 or whatever, that's still around you. You're just not aware of it because you're not tuned into that frequency. That's the same way parallel universes work. They're all around you just as close as your breath. You're not aware of them because you're not at the frequency, you're not vibrating at the same frequency that parallel universe is at. So usually we don't know that we've gone into another reality because we've been taught there is only one world, one universe, one timeline, 1 second after another, linear, sequential. But if we're infinite beings, we have infinite choices. We're eternal beings. So, and quantum physics is saying that it seems to be like there's no such thing as time, whatever. So anyway, most of the time you're not aware when you've changed universes because the changes are so subtle. You can't really tell. So what if you wore a white pair of pants today instead of blue ones? It's like it's not a big major difference in your world. However, I've seen people actually change from dying of cancer, and they change their frequency, they change their beliefs, they change their thoughts, and all of a sudden it's like what they call spontaneous remission. I've done it by changing relationships. I've shifted into something radically, changed my belief about something, had the desire, the vision to have my own radio show, and I saw myself in that universe. I aligned myself with that universe, and within a week I got a call out of the blue of somebody saying, would you come to our station and have a radio show? It's like, okay, that's cool. So it was obvious that I was in another dimension because it radically changed my life. So and the people around me radically change when I go into another universe. So it's not just that you change or your circumstances change. You'll notice that the people around you change. And you know what? It's been in the movies for a long time. They had Back to the Future, Sliding Doors, lots of Star Trek things talk about parallel universes. It's a Wonderful Life. It's about parallel universes. It's like he went into a different universe. So we've been talking about it in the movies all the time, and now it's like, well, now physics is talking about it.
It's pretty fascinating. I know they also talk about time not existing, but Pam, we already have a caller, Deborah from Oregon, who'd like to ask you a question.
Okay.
Welcome, Deborah. Deborah?
Pam?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi, Deborah. Hello. Can you hear us,
Hi,
Deborah?
this is Deborah Maffei.
Hi. Oh, Deborah Maffei that I went to high school with?
Yes.
Hey, Deborah. Oh, my gosh. Look at Karen. I haven't spoken to her for at least, 30-some years now. But we're only 27 years old.
I know.
In that other universe.
How could my son be 36?
That's in another universe.
Yeah.
Hi, Deborah. Sure. Wow, how fun. So did you have a question? We'll have to speak another time, too, when we can get all personal. But did you have a question for the show?
Yes. Kind of about purposes in life.
Okay. Well, first of all, one of the things that I do, Deborah, is I can tell people's aura colors. And usually the aura colors show me also it's connected with their life purpose. So
right.
You always had dark hair, right? Dark brown hair or medium brown hair?
Yes.
And what color eyes do you have?
Brown.
Okay. So, Deborah, here's the deal. You were born yellow-violet, just like Karen, by the way, our hostess. You were born yellow-violet. You've added blue in your aura. So let me just tell you about the blue that you've added. You've added blue to be able to be a mom, okay, because blues are the nurturers, the loves. They want to help people. But yellow-violet, yellows are basically, now your yellow's been a little suppressed, Deborah, okay? Yellows are basically creative, fun-loving, big kids at heart. They don't feel like they've really grown up yet, and that does apply to you, by the way, okay? Although violets feel, and violets feel like they're getting older and running out of time, so it's just the opposite. So yellows are here to bring joy to the planet, to have fun. They need variety. They either, and by the way, yellows, if they had their way, wouldn't work. Yellows don't want to work. But violets have big missions here. So yellows are like, no, I just want to have fun. So yellows either do creative work, or they do healing work, or they do physical work like yoga instructors, okay? But what's up for you, Deborah, is you've got a lot of violet in your aura. And right now, this is a violet age. So, we have to take a break. Go ahead.
Let's pick that up, yes, on it being a violet age when we come right back with Pamela Oslie from LifeColorsCity.com. We are taking your questions and comments, 877-342-6673. We will be right back after this.
Don't you invade my home. Best off if you hang outside. Don't come in. I'll only run and hide. Who can it be now? Who can it be?
Heart-related health problems affect millions of people each year. Maybe you're one of the many who suffer from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, unbalanced cholesterol, irregular heartbeat, or clogged arteries. There is a solution that doesn't involve expensive prescription drugs that only mask the problem and leave you with horrible side effects. If you are ready to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself, then you're ready for Heart and Body Extract from Healthy Hearts Club. Heart and Body Extract has a 23-year proven track record of using certified organic herbs that make up an excellent formula to balance and support the heart and circulatory system. In as little as 2 weeks, you can feel amazing results when your 2-month supply of Heart and Body Extract today. Call 1-866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
If you're taking 1, 2, 5, or more nutritional supplements every day, please stop. Simplify your supplementation with Bio Superfood, the most advanced nutritional whole food supplement you can buy. Men, women, children, and even Olympic athletes the world over have discovered Bio Superfood from BioAge.com and now take just one nutritional supplement instead of many. The Bio Superfood formulas are whole food products composed with 4 of the most nutrient-dense algae species found on Earth. Bio Superfood for the brain helps with focus, memory, clarity, and mood. Bio Superfood is a strong defender in the fight against radiation exposure. Bio Superfood has 0 toxicity, is safe, and has no contraindications whatsoever. Learn more and order your Bio Superfood formulas at BioAge.com. That's spelled BIOAGE.com. BioAge.com. Or you can call 877-288-9116. That's 877-288-9116. BioAge, the age of advanced organics.
Famous Pastor Lindsey Williams.
I'm 77 years of age. I feel better than I did when I was in my 50s and 60s. I was so sick, I thought I was going to die. It relates to a product that you handle right here. Folks, you positively must, after this show, you've got to click on Carnivora. They must have it in their medicine cabinet.
This is owner Richard Ostro for Carnivora Research International. This is promo time, folks, for Carnivora capsules. Buy 2, get 1 free. Buy 4, get 2 free. Buy 6 and get 3 free. There is no limit. You must use the promotion code BCAPS3. That's BCAPS3, whether calling 1-866-VENUS-FLY or placing your order online at CARNIVORA.com. That's carnivora.com. Protect your immune system. It's the only one you've got.
All right. Well, my guest today is Pamela Oslie from LifeColorsCity.com and Deborah, who is an old friend of hers. Deborah, I'm curious, have you spoken to Pamela since you have children?
No.
Okay, so then that was interesting because, Pam, you said that she had to add blue in order to be a mom. So that's some of your psychicness picking that up, huh?
Oh, okay. There's lots of stuff we can pick up with Deborah. So, and you know what, Karen, you have a lot of violets listening, so this is helpful for them to hear too. Because Deborah, violets are visionaries. They actually they want freedom. If they had their way, they'd be doing their own projects or working for themselves. And violets have big dreams. And a lot of times violets get accused of being unrealistic dreamers because they don't know how to make a living at it a lot of times. And then you have the yellow, and yellows will procrastinate. Yellows think of all these great ideas, and then they get insecure and they don't do it. But violets ultimately are here to make a difference on the planet. And the way you violets either do that is either through, and you have this one, Deborah, okay? They either do it through creativity, through the arts or writing or design or, graphics, something creative. They can, touch the masses, and a lot of violets become performers and singers and writers and photographers, something creative. Or they get into, and Deborah, you have this one too. It's so cute to see how your yellow procrastinates. You get insecure. But violets also become teachers and therapists, like life coaches or something to help other people. And you have that one in you too, Deborah, okay? Like a life coach.
I've done that enough.
Yep. And then the third thing that violets get involved in are causes. So they want to make a difference. Violets are the ones, Karen, because you have violets too, that feel bad for starving children around the world and those poor homeless people and those poor, violets tend to be more global. And Deborah, by the way, usually violets want to go travel, and blues and yellows are like, no, just home. And violets go, no, I want to go travel. Yeah, but I don't have the money. Yeah, but it's like, so violets ultimately.
See, that's exactly me.
I know. I heard you.
And me with animals.
Yes.
And every animal.
That's something a blue and a yellow and a violet would do, okay, where greens are like, tans are more logical. But I feel like you just haven't been able to make a big enough difference yet, which Karen and I were talking about earlier. It's so common for violets to always feel like no matter what they've done, something's still missing. They still haven't done enough, right? And then, of course, your blue's going to be concerned, Deborah, with relationships. Okay, blues, it's always about relationship, and are they in love, and are they helping enough people, and do they have a partner that they can really emotionally connect with? Violets have to be with somebody that really respects them, that inspires them, that lives the same passion and dream and vision with them, and goes, yeah, what about this? Yes, what about this? Yes, let's go do these amazing projects together. You have the same aura colors. Yellow violets are the Beatles were all yellow violets, so is Oprah, Bono, George Clooney, Celine Dion, Beyonce, John and Robert Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Gorbachev, Nelson Mandela, Maya Angelou. Do you see what kind of company you're in? Do you see how that can be overwhelming, though? Because it feels so big. But if you violets don't play big and have freedom, then you never quite feel happy or fulfilled. Does that make sense to you? Yep.
Sure does.
Yeah, and so sometime we'll have a longer conversation, okay? But see, that's difference in tans and reds and oranges and magentas. They all have a different life purpose, but violets have to help make a difference, whether it's with people, children, or animals, or the environment. They have to feel like they're making a difference here and improving the quality of life.
Well, I had 11 cats at one time, 2 dogs, 2 ferrets, 2 bunnies, just because I thought nobody could take better care of them than me.
There you go.
Thank you. Deborah, thank you very much for calling in today. I appreciate it, and I'm happy that you and Pam connected. And
I know.
We'll have to. Yeah, if you want to go to UnitedWeStrike.com, you can find my email and get me, and I will forward over the information from Pam so you can get together and talk at a later time.
I know, how funny. I haven't even seen her since high school. How funny is that?
I don't look the same.
Oh, I bet you do. Thanks for calling in, Deborah. You've always been gorgeous, so thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye, Karen.
Thank you, Deborah. Bye. Well, I definitely can relate to Violet's wanting to do something, to have a big vision, because saving the world has been pretty much mine, and I have been failing miserably at it. So that goes hand in hand. Yeah. But some of the people, though, who you did mention who are Violets, though, Pam, I would not want to be affiliated with. Some of them are definitely working for the dark side, like Beyonce. And I know that sometimes you mention Bill Gates, who unfortunately is quite a eugenicist.
Well, Bill Gates is a green. He's a green with Violet. And greens, like a lot of greens, it's about money. Donald Trump is green. Barbara Walters is green. David Letterman is green with yellow. They're more about corporations, business, money, power, organizing. Greens are very good with business. I mean, let's put it this way, Karen. Every color has a positive side to them, where they're really living their passion, their reason for being here. And every single one of the colors has a downside to them. And so my goal is to also help people stay in power. So, for example, violets, when they're in power, they're very compassionate. They're dynamic leaders. They really want to make a difference here. When violets are out of power, the downside of violets is they either get arrogant, show-offy, bossy, it's all about them, or they get judgmental and critical. They get impatient with humanity because they go, people are so stupid, why don't they wake up? That's the downside of violets. Or violets get really scattered, and there's like 20 things you violets want to do, and you either try to do them all at once and multitask, or you don't know which way to go next, like what Deborah did, and get stuck. That's the downside of violets.
Well, I recognize myself there quite a bit, and I'm sure some of my listeners do as well, getting down on humanity, because I would like to see us be able to unite. I'm thinking that as we talk about the higher consciousness, until we really can bridge that gap or step across to understand when one of us is being oppressed or a majority of people are being murdered, we all are. So how can, or is there a way to help people when you talk about stepping into alternate universes to really bring that heart consciousness forward so that we can make a difference here in this reality?
Well, one of the reasons, great questions, by the way, Karen. One of the reasons I do the work that I do, like explaining to people about their aura colors, because to me, the colors reveal what they've chosen to do here, the theme that you've chosen for this lifetime. And so my goal is if I can help people understand, first of all, validate who they are, because, Karen, so many people are out in the world being unhappy and unfulfilled in jobs, in lifestyles, and they're not living their true vision, their true who they are, their true colors. Sorry to sound trite like that, and so when people are living their true colors, they have more compassion, more love. They're more balanced. They're more centered. And then also people can understand that not everybody's like them, that everybody has a different purpose here, a different perspective, a different way of living their lives here. Then we can start honoring each other and allow people to live their true personality. So for me, it starts with the individual, because when people are hurt, when they're scared, when they're angry, they're not really loving to other people, and that's when they can abuse other people. And mostly that's from fear. That's from fear. That's from beliefs in scarcity, a belief that, I'm right and you're wrong, or a belief that there's only so much, and if I don't get what I get, then you're going to take it from me, and then I'll suffer, and I'll be... So, like, my goal is to help the individuals transform, really get who they are, what we're really capable of, and then it ripples out from there. It spreads out from there, because I know violets do try to change the masses, and it's like, yeah, we need to reach the masses. It's really about educating them, but through love, compassion, understanding that people are in fear, as opposed to, I know how violets do it sometimes, Karen. Reds and greens do the same thing. They want to hit people over the head and go, you idiot, wake up. Why can't you think like me? What's wrong with you? Because the thing is, Karen, you violets actually have so much compassion and so much depth and so much love to you that it frustrates you that things aren't going the way you know it's supposed to go. Because violets have big vision. They know it's possible for people to live in harmony and love and compassion. And when it doesn't go that way, the violets are like, duh! So it comes from a sense of true, deep love, not of negativity.
Well, I know that we can't make any changes until we change ourselves first. Right. Now, all right, everyone, get your water. Remember, we close the program with the water blessing. Pamela, if you'd like to pour yourself a glass of water during the break, we'll be right back, and then possibly you can tell us what you see for the future. I'm very curious as to that in terms of planet or comet ISON and what we can do to make a better one. We'll be right back after these messages.
Charlie McGrath here at WideAwakeNews.com, and I'm here to tell you I believe that Chris and the folks over at SeedsNow.com offer the best product at the best prices with the best service of anybody in the market. But don't take my word for it. Listen to what some of their customers have to say. Joshua in Florida writes, exceeded my expectations. Shipping was prompt and a number of my plants are already starting to sprout. Thanks for being great. And Ryan in California writes, I just received my Homestead Seed Bank, my all-in-one prepper pack, and seed-to-seed storage and growing guidebook, and I could not be more pleased. Thanks, Seeds Now. Now I can start growing and get off the GMOs. Keep up the great work. And the list goes on and on. Guys, it's time to make SeedsNow.com an integral part of your long-term preparedness strategy. Please call them at 877-344-4669. That number again, 877-344-4669. Or better yet, visit them today at SeedsNow.com.
Is what you are currently doing to relieve your pain working for you? Do you have chronic pain in your knees, your elbows, your joints, your back, your muscles? Have you tried going to the doctors and the naturopathic doctors, the back cracks, the motions, the potions, the lotions, and nothing seems to really last? There's a new product called a placebo enhancer. Now, don't laugh. The name is to avoid tyranny from the drug cartels that want to keep everybody on a leash. This product is advanced science. It's cutting edge. It's quantum physics-based, energy-infused liquid suspension with a transdermal magnesium applicant. You spray a couple sprays on where it hurts, and that's all you have to do, and within 20 minutes it's in every one of your cells. Go to painsucks.info and get the information. That's painsucks.info. Again, you can get a free trial bottle. Just pay shipping and handling at painsucks.info. Your pain isn't going to go away on its own, so get your trial bottle immediately. Painsucks.info.
Charlie McGrath of WideAwakeNews.com here with a question from my friends at Austin Rare Coins and Bullion. What do they know that we don't? Insiders and a who's who list of elite have made it crystal clear that we are headed for catastrophe, putting out warning after warning, urging people to batten down the hatches. Billionaire George Soros has recently been dumping stocks and at the same time acquiring millions in gold. In fact, in a recent interview, he was quoted as saying, "I'm not here to cheer you up. The situation is as serious and difficult as I've experienced in my career." Out of control government deficit spending and a Federal Reserve that's only solution seems to be print more fiat currency will lead to a weaker dollar and massive inflation on necessity items such as energy and food. If you have wealth to protect, please visit my friends at Austin Rare Coins and Bullion. Gabe Elton and the folks at Austin Rare Coins and Bullion have many Wide Awake News customers because they're honest, they're fair, and they won't sell you paper promises or product they do not have. Call Gabe Elton at 800-552-4109. That number again, 800-552-4109, or visit them online at austincoins.com.
Make a promise, take a vow, trust your feelings, it's easy now. Understand the voice within.
Trust your feelings. It's easy now. Well, I don't know. I don't always trust my feelings. Pam, I know you trust yours. Before you answer that question, if you could please give a quick color aura of Obama, Rand, and Ron Paul.
I don't know the other two. I know Obama is violet with yellow. He adds indigo in his outer bands, and he adds some green in his outer bands, but he was actually born violet yellow, sweetie. The others I don't really know because I'm not really political. I just watch what people are doing.
Okay. So then the future, what do you see in terms of the future? I'm hearing ISON is coming. Some people are saying Anunnaki are coming. We've got so much misinformation out there. What do you see from here through the end of the year, if that's possible?
Through the end of the year? Oh, through the end of the year. Well, first of all, there are multiple realities, so let me just tell you what I see happening in mine, okay? My universe, okay. My world. Okay. I know, you see how tricky this is now, right? Anyway, I tend to be an optimist, Karen, because I tend to believe that it's love and positivity and connection and honoring each other and respecting each other. It's the people that love peace that are going to create peace. People that hate war aren't going to end war. They'll just create more because they're focusing on it. So I believe that we're headed in a really positive direction, even if there's bumps and growing pains. I still see us actually getting more better and better and more loving and more aware. Now, are we going to be aware that there are other living species out in the world? Absolutely. They even exist in other dimensions. Between now and the end of the year, I kind of see more of the same. We're going to have weather stuff. We're going to have people in fear. We're going to have people fine. We're going to have, disasters. We'll get through them. I mean, I feel like it's going to be more of the same, but the general pattern to me is positive. It's flowing up, and that's my perception and my beliefs, and therefore that's what I experience. The stock market's just going to keep going up and down, but ultimately it'll still go up. I don't see the U.S. I mean, a lot of my friends are leaving the country because they think it's all going to go, down the tubes, and there's going to be rioting and massacres, and I don't see that. My experience is when things get tough here, we all help each other.
What about a false flag between now and the end of the year here in the not so United States?
What is it? A false what?
Flag.
False flag. I don't know what that means.
Okay, that means government-sponsored terror against the people, like 9/11 was a false flag. Actually, all the wars we've been lied into.
Okay, so Karen, this is my perception of life. Whatever we put our energy on increases. If we put our energy into the solution, we'll get more solution. If we focus on the fear and the problem and, fear and the problem, we're going to create more fear and problem. So I tend to not put energy there because I want to feed it into things that are love-based and positive. And even if there's things like that happen because the government's scared and there's control issues and there's scarcity issues, it's like, okay, you guys keep playing that game. I'm going to focus on abundance and creating and teaching people that we're creators and that we can create infinite abundance. And that's where my energy is going to go. But that's just me. But I don't go to horror movies. I don't go to scary movies. I don't go to war movies. I don't go to any of those movies because I don't like the feeling that they give me. I like to go to romantic comedies. And other people like scary movies.
No, I definitely agree that what we focus on and put our attention on is something that we help to give the energy to. And I definitely am about trying to focus on the positive. I'm also aware of the news and I'm aware of the death and destruction. I have a lot of empathy for it. So
I agree. I'm aware of it too. It's not like I'm hiding my head in the sand.
Yeah.
It's just that I know to focus on the solution, not to just continue to lament on the problem because we'll just create more. Then it makes us feel helpless. So, but that's just how I do it. I never judge anybody else how they're doing their movie, how they're doing their play here, because honestly, Karen, I trust that people's souls know what they're doing here. Even if the personality looks like it doesn't know, I trust the soul knows what it's doing. So whatever people are learning, whatever experiences they're having, it's like, go for it, baby. Okay?
Well, I do understand that. And actually, Pam, in looking for ways to unite people, because I'm the founder of UnitedWeStrike.com, I encourage boycotts and strikes monthly so that we can begin to turn our world around here and do it peacefully. And what
it seems to be working, Karen, because a lot more people are going green. A lot more of them are wanting to not harm the environment or harm each other. So whatever you're adding to the consciousness seems to be working.
Well, hopefully. But one of the things that I've discovered is work with water and Dr. Emoto. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah. I love that. Absolutely.
Well, water holding in memory, what I like to do and end my program on, Pam, is a water blessing. And Brett will be playing a meditation in the background because in looking for ways to unite people, we all are so divided. The thing that it occurs to me is something we all share is the water. And we could be temples of our own holy water. And no matter who we are, if our water is healthier, if we are able to produce within ourselves the gratitude and the love for this essential essence, then all of us, no matter who we are, will be able to make some much better decisions about every aspect of our lives.
That is beautiful. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're putting out energy, positive, loving energy. I love that.
Well, thank you. I'd like to ask you to join us, and if you do have a glass of water, we will be playing that in just about a minute. But okay, here's a quick comment in the chat room. It's the visualization argument. Many buy into it. For me, it's a little too close to if I ignore it, it will go away, and then they wonder why the tiger's munching on their hip bone.
I totally get that. My comment is that we're still focusing on old beliefs like classical physics, and it feels to me like if we're hiding our heads in the sand, it's more that we're not seeing what quantum physics is saying about how thought and energy matter. And so that's where I'm going to recommend people check it out. It's not about ignoring, it's about uncreating and creating what we want, not focusing and fearing what we don't want, because that creates it.
That's interesting. Uncreating. That's definitely something that we could be doing. And I also have I like 528 a lot. I know that I've heard you talk about frequencies, and definitely we haven't gotten into nearly enough of what I would love to be able to chat with you about. I'll have to have you back, and I would love to guest with you as well. But the frequency of 528, do you know anything about that?
No. I don't.
Okay, 528 is a frequency that scientists and physicists are using to measure its effect on the human body, and they have been quoted as saying that it relaxes our DNA, which makes it open to more healing. And the melody that we're going to play coming up is going to be 528. So you'll have to listen to that, and then we'll check afterwards. I'd love to see what you think. We may not be able to share it online, but before we go to the clip, you've got about 60 seconds. Anything you would like to leave our listeners with?
Just that I really honestly, at the core of my being, believe we're all very loving beings, and we all want the same thing. We all want to be happy. We all want to experience love. We want to have beautiful, safe, secure homes, be able to feed ourselves and take care of our loved ones. So we're all beautiful, amazing beings, and I feel like more and more is coming to light and how incredible we are. So, and still people get to follow their own intuition. Just trust what you're here to do. Trust how you feel about it. If it's making you happy, it's working for you. If it's not making you happy, you might want to just take a look at the beliefs you've got about yourself, reality, and life, because not everybody believes the same thing. So who's to say which one's real? So anyway, I want to say also thank you. Thank you for having me on the show, and thank everyone for listening, because it's fun to kind of share new ideas, right?
I believe that's very true. Your website is lifecolorscity.com. And now, Brett, if you would begin to turn up the music in the background. This is a 528. So, Pamela, I'm hoping that you'll enjoy this. I really enjoyed having you. Remember, we are more than we know. Believe in yourselves. Love yourselves. Flush your water. I'll be back next week. Tune in tomorrow for Eric Lovely. Thank you for joining us. Namaste.
oxygen. It's nature's oldest therapy and plays an essential role in destroying viruses, bacteria, mold, yeast, and fungus, and keeping the human body healthy and strong. Now, you can give your body and your immune system a mega boost of disease-fighting oxygen with all-natural Oxy-C. With so many people now leading a sedentary indoor lifestyle, most are in a chronic state of oxygen deprivation, which sets up a perfect environment for disease, general fatigue, and a host of other symptoms. Oxy-C is yours in simple, convenient capsules. Nothing to mix, nothing to hassle with. Take it with juice or water anytime. Feel a cold or flu approaching? Have no energy or spark anymore? Try all-natural Oxy-C and prepare to be amazed. Oxy-C is only available from New Earth Health Solutions at rinse.com. Look for the New Earth banner at rinse.com.
In 2007, one man, Mike Dillard, made 5 predictions which forecasted the 2008 economic crisis and the pending Eurozone collapse. 3 brand new, shocking, must-watch videos with predictions for the coming year. www.the3videos.com. Over the past year, Mike Dillard has helped thousands of ordinary people create and recover wealth by tapping into the black box investing strategies the big banks don't want you to know about. www.the3videos.com. As the European banking system implodes and governments collapse at breakneck speeds, the next 12 months will be the most anticipated and important months in modern human history. This will make 2008 look like a walk in the park. Everyone will be affected. Go to www.the3videos.com now. Learn how to prepare your family and prosper during the global financial collapse.
You're listening to the Rinse Radio Network, nationwide and worldwide on the net and at rinse.com.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in